How do the gods speak to us? So, no matter what religion you're in or spiritual tradition, there are ways through which the gods constantly contact us. Now, it's pretty standard. Usually in, let's say, Asatru or following the northern shamanistic path, we find that gods can influence us through the runes and give us messages. I see things in dreams from Odin, for instance. He guides my meditation from time to time to a certain conclusion that didn't come from in and of myself and is basically composed of new information that I didn't have before. Um, some of us are lucky enough to hear the actual words of gods from time to time, and this is very rare, and it's even rarer to see the gods, for them to come down and like make themselves present physically, something that we can see and possibly even prove by them influencing our material environment, whether it be our house, whether it be a ritual space, whether it be a temple. Sometimes this happens. Sometimes if we are committed enough and we are devoted enough to follow a certain path for an extended period of time. And sometimes still that still doesn't work. Even if you recite a mantra, for instance, that is supposed to bring the Divine Mother Kali Ma down to you and make her present and have her communicate with you, sometimes it doesn't work. Spirituality isn't a precise formula, but there are things that consistently work, like studying the prose Edda or the poetic Edda in the northern shamanistic tradition, or studying the Puranas in the Hindu tradition, or the Bhagavad Gita, or different scriptures like the Vedas. Sometimes we are influenced mentally, our intellect and our ego, in a way that we are pushed not just through the knowledge, not just in understanding the knowledge, but with the knowledge, there is something sparked in us, and that spark is partly the God's effort, partly our effort, and partly the effort of our guru or master or somebody that we learn from, even if we haven't met them, somebody that we read a lot of information from or inspired by and kind of focus on in our hearts and in our visualizations and constantly exist within our minds and our day-to-day life, no matter what we're doing. Now, can I give you an exact formula as to how to make Kali Ma or Odin appear? My divine parents, basically. No, I can't, because it isn't up to me, and I don't know everything. I am not a master. I'm not a guru. What I've scrounged together is something that I've developed over time, the amount of information that I have, and my spiritual path has had its valleys and peaks. It's gone up and down. It's been a winding road, a lot of pain, a lot of joy, a lot of contentment, a lot of agony, a lot of despair, a lot of depression, and a lot of inspiration and wisdom and love and just the feeling of compassion from the whole universe itself, let alone the gods. And this is indicative of everyone's spiritual path, and this is what you should see in your own spiritual path. Now, when it comes to offerings are very important. If you offer the gods incense, mead, sage, herbs, food that you make, sometimes even flammable alcohol, ghee burned in brass lamps. All of these things are regular offerings one should make if one hopes to have a more closely tied relationship to the gods. I would highly recommend that you think about what you want to offer, how your altar should look. I mean, I've showed my ritual space, my altar, many times, so how you want it to look. It doesn't have to be very big. It doesn't have to be composed immediately at one time. It can be added onto again and again and again, and I have spaces in this room that I've added onto again and again and again. And you yourself have to decide what parts of the source you are going to look towards for assistance, which ones are closest to your heart, and by this I mean God's, which ones are closest to your heart, which ones do you feel the most drawn to. And it can be based on heritage, or it can be based on just finding a path, like I found Hinduism, and I also worship the Northern European gods of my Viking ancestors and Germanic ancestors. But it doesn't necessarily have to be by heritage, or your parents taught you, or something that your friend basically said, okay, this is the way, and then you just follow it. It's whatever your heart tells you, whatever your heart drags you towards, the deepest, most compassionate part of your heart, not the envious side or the jealous side of your heart. And this is an analogy. These things don't actually exist in your heart, but there is kind of a gateway to higher dimensions called the lotus in the center of the heart. But that is a topic for another time. Regardless, I would love to hear about your experiences with the gods. This has been just a tiny summary about how the gods communicate to us, how the gods speak to us. So I hope it's been useful. I hope it's been interesting. If you have any questions, shoot it down in the comment section below. I try to get to as many comments as I can. Channel's growing quick, so it's hard to hit every single one of them. But I really love to hear your thoughts. And hit that like button down there if you like this video. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much, and y'all have a great day.